This cat go, this cat go come in the chat talk about some. Hey. Oh my god, man. Ugh, absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Mm. I'm just gonna post this on Threads real quick. Unbelievable, bro. All Celtics BS aside, what what'd you think of the game, Mark? Because this is crazy, man. Absolutely ridiculous. This cat put a smiley face, yo. This is I can't take it, man. Lakers are done. The season is a wrap. Ugh, my goodness, bro. Pure sloppiness. You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong, man. It's honestly from start to finish, it was like that. That for a team to be in an elimination game, the energy was low, the execution was not sharp from start to finish, very sloppy, very lackadaisical. It's almost as if they played like they knew they were gonna win, which is wild because it's like I don't even know. I don't even know. But it'll be one thing if the Lakers started out strong, right? And body language towards it, yeah, it was crazy. And I would go even further. I would say the body language from the beginning was tough. Body language from the beginning was tough because this is basically our game seven. This was a game seven. And from the start, it was trash. From the start, it was trash. Missed shots, poor execution, bad screens, turnovers, missing rotations. It's like, dog, this game was yeah. Acceptance of defeat with real minutes left in the game, only down six. Yeah, how you gonna walk in there in an elimination game and no fight for sure, man? We it was very much up and down, roller coaster, up and down because we had spurts right where we thought we were still in the game and there was some energy there. LeBron had a couple dunks. The crowd got into it. First of all, don't even let me start it on the Lakers crowd. I don't know what that shit is all about, but the Lakers crowd is one of the worst crowds in a playoff series I've ever seen, bro. It's insane. Yo, if you go to that game in Minnesota, that crowd was bananas, bro. That crowd was absolutely bananas. Oh, Big Drew. Yo, man, appreciate the super chat, big dog. No one seemed to even want to rally the troops. Yo, facts. Big facts. Because at the end, yo, nobody stepped up. Nobody showed up as a leader. Not a vocal leader, uh not leading by example. I mean, even in this game, you've seen LeBron throughout stretches. He's had some strong games and some really strong performances on the defensive end. He was pretty solid defensively this game too, but you just didn't feel it. You didn't feel it from Luka. You didn't feel it from LeBron, really, from AR. Everybody was just flat. It was just very flat. And bro, this is a game seven. This is an elimination game. Like we going home. We and I don't know. It wasn't. The crowd wasn't into it. It was like, wow, I can it blow. LeBron is my dad. LeBron is my dad. Yo, man, uh, LeBron was nobody's dad this game, bro. He didn't have a horrible game, but just it was not a game seven LeBron like we're used to seeing. And granted, like you can talk all that stuff about his age and whatnot, and it's valid. But at the same time, you're wearing a jersey, you're on the court, and this is a game 7, bro. And you gotta find a way to step up. You gotta find a way to step up. One thing I will give him credit for, because if you go back even to the previous game, he did not score at all in the fourth quarter, but he also didn't take a lot of shots. So you got to give LeBron some credit there because he was fairly aggressive kind of towards the end of the stretch of the game, but he just wasn't making any shots. He hit that one big three. Hey, Julie, thank you for joining the chat. Appreciate it. Sam F was good. Was good. Yeah, man, he hit that one big three, which was a big three that put us down 2. But other than that, man, nobody could make anything. We were just, yo. I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now. We shot 42% from the field, 11 of 37 from 3, which is less than 30%. And what makes it even crazier is that the Timberwolves shot worse from 3. They barely shot 15% from 3. Like, yo, what are we doing right now, bro? We got 25 attempts from the free throw line, which is decent. We made 19, 76%. You'll take it. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they shot 72% from the free throw line, but this was the kicker. Rebounds, 54 from Minnesota to our 37. Dog. Like, Rudy Gobert looked like prime Shaq. He finished with 27 points and 20 plus rebounds. Not Rudy, bro. Not Rudy Gobert, man. Oh my god. Ugh, he had the nerve to do a post game interview like he was a freaking MVP or something like that, bro. Like, come on, dog. That's absolutely ridiculous. Minnesota missed mad shots. Absolutely. Both teams, they didn't shoot well from the floor. And the Lakers couldn't take advantage of it. When we won game 2, Minnesota was missing shots, but we were able to capitalize on it. And we just couldn't get it done this game, man. It seemed like they didn't want to go. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Is that Big Pops? What up, Pops? Yeah, man. I agree. It definitely felt like they threw in the towel. And it was a wrap. It was a wrap. What's next for the Lakers? Oh, what's up, Big Dog? School of Rejects. What's going on? Appreciate you joining in, man. What's next for the Lakers? That's a really good question. Rob Pelinka has to figure something out in the offseason. I don't know how I feel about that extension they gave him, if I'm being completely honest. Uh, I think that Luka trade it's crazy, bro, because that Luka trade fell in his lap. It's not like he went out there and kind of, was doing his thing and, he magically put together an amazing deal to land Luka. No. Dallas Mavericks, they called Rob Pelinka and was like, yo, we trying to get off this dude. And based on this series, we kind of see why. But, yeah, so I don't know. They extended him, so he's going to be with the Lakers for a long time. If we're really talking about it, we rescinded the Mark Williams trade, which in hindsight for this specific year it was probably a mistake. If we were looking for short-term goals of putting our best foot forward to win a championship this year, that trade shouldn't have been rescinded. Because if you think about it, we got back Dalton Knecht in that trade, and Dalton Knecht didn't even play a minute in the playoffs. So you're pretty safe to say that once that trade got rescinded, it was like, listen, we're writing off this season. This is a throwaway season. And you see it. You see why. We got the worst matchup possible, which is basically the Timberwolves, who are just young, athletic, fast, and that's everything that we're not. So, I mean, in terms of the next move for the Lakers, we just got to really, really do our due diligence this offseason. We got to get a big. That's the number one priority. We got to get a starting caliber big. Last summer would have been so much easier. Last summer, I was preaching for Walker Kessler and Zach LaVine. That's what I was preaching for. But the Jazz, they're not letting go of Walker Kessler. At least I don't see it. Austin Reeves, you can look at him as possibly a trade piece. Giannis, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. That would be amazing. That would be prayers answered. But I think that it's highly unlikely that we would get Giannis. You see some definitely hear some murmurings around on social media and whatnot, but I don't see it happening, bro. I don't. That would be nice though. Not gonna lie. Does LeBron come back? It's a great question. Uh, a part of me says no, if I'm being completely honest. Because I mean, even looking at that game, he's like, "Yo, I'm done with this." That's the vibe that I kind of got, not just from him, but the entire team. It's like, "Yo, I'm done. Like, I'm over it." And if you look at his career for its entirety, that's been the story. It's like if he's not the one doing it, nobody else is doing it. And I think he's reaching a point to where not only because he's playing at an All NBA level pretty much throughout the entire season, but when you have a player like Anthony Davis, when you have a player like Luka Doncic, the whole point of bringing these younger players on is to take the reins from him, not not to still look to him to take over games and to just always be the best player on the court. The man's 40 years old. He's playing his 22nd season. If he comes back next year, that'll be his 23rd season, and people are still looking at him like he's the best player. Like, yo, you got this, right? He's like, bro, no. Like, I'm trying to hand this off to you. So I don't know, man. He might come back, but it's tough to say. It really is. If he does come back, I imagine he's taking a pay cut because he has a player option next year. So he could retire if he wanted to, and then the Lakers can just drop his contract, so that's salary gone. If he picks up the option, he could exercise his full contract rights, which I think is another 40 mil, if I'm not mistaken. And he'll be well in his rights to do so because he earned it. You know, he's been the face of the NBA for how many years? But realistically, if he wants to compete for a championship his last year, he'll probably take a pretty significant pay cut. I don't know if he'll play for the veteran minimum, but he'll take a pay cut to try to bring in somebody. Maybe it's like a Miles Turner or I don't know, somebody, just to give the Lakers some extra wiggle room to bring in some additional talent because they definitely need a center. That's the number one priority. Rob Pelinka should be on the phone right now with somebody. I don't give a damn if it's a playoff team. He should be on the phone, writing, I don't know, sending owls out. I don't know. He got to do whatever he needs to do, but we need a center desperately. The assists were dead even. Minnesota Timberwolves had 25 assists. We had 24. They had 8 steals to our 5, 5 blocks to our 1. This is all big man presence. This is all Rudy Gobert. Blocks, rebounds, that's Rudy. Points in the paint, Rudy. 56 to our 40. And Rudy, yo. Oh, man. If somebody would have told me at the beginning of the playoffs that Rudy Gobert was going to be the deciding factor to send the Lakers home, I would have called you crazy. But it makes sense, man. That just shows you how desperately we needed a big. When Rudy Gobert can look like freaking Wilt Chamberlain out there, we were down bad, man. And that's the truth. The truth is we were just not ready. We were not ready. We got a huge trade with Luka Doncic. We gave up Anthony Davis, who was our big. We gave up Max Christie, who was one of our best defensive guards / wings. And this was a move to set us up for the future. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers are trying to move off from LeBron. If we're keeping it real, because the only reason why we had hope to make a deep run in the playoffs this year was how good our defense was. But the regular season and playoffs are different. It's very matchup dependent, and we got the worst matchup for the first round that we possibly could have gotten. Everything that was our weakness, the Minnesota Timberwolves presented. Plus, they had enough experience. If you look at a team like the Houston Rockets, for example, they present similar issues. They're young, they're athletic, they're scrappy, but they don't have a ton of experience. The Minnesota Timberwolves were in the Western Conference Finals last year. They've been there, and they got Ant-Man, who was, you got to give Ant-Man credit, bro. He was a monster this series. Absolute monster. Who you think we end up getting second round? You mean like Boston or the Timberwolves? How did JJ do? That's tough, man. Because hindsight is always 2020. But I think JJ, for the season as a whole, I think he did great for a rookie head coach to take on this franchise with a player like LeBron that type of pressure, that type of just that type of attention, stardom, it's tough. It's not easy. And I think he did a good job of letting his confidence just shine. He was JJ Redick. He did a good job. He didn't shy away from the moment at all. His got you. Um, his performance in the playoffs, questionable, questionable, but understandable because again, this is his first playoff series as a rookie head coach. So I mean, I personally think he abandoned his team way too early. The team that got us to the playoffs, he lost faith in them way too early. Jackson Hayes, he was our only legitimate big, and you barely played him. If Jackson Hayes plays his way off the court, that's one thing. If he gets into foul trouble, if he, whatever. But I just didn't really see that. I didn't think Jackson Hayes played so bad that you just felt like your only option was to go small ball, especially when there's Rudy Gobert on the other team. Overall, if I had to give him a grade, I give him probably a B minus maybe in that area if we're considering regular season and postseason. Knicks Pistons. Ooh, man. First of all, that's one of my favorite series so far. The Knicks and Pistons, man. I'm really pulling for the Pistons because I just like their team. Cade Cunningham is really good, bro. Cade Cunningham's good. They got shooters and Tim Hardaway Jr. and whatnot. Um, Asura Thompson, he's really good. I like his game. Super athletic, man. I just like the Pistons, but I think the Pistons have a good shot at coming back. I think they're down 3-2 right now. So, but either way, whoever shows up in the second round for the Celtics, man, y'all not gonna have any issues. At least I don't think so. Should you trade AR? It's a valid question. Trading Austin Reeves at this point is a valid question because now he's flirting with that D'Angelo Russell territory. Somebody who's good in the regular season, but come playoff time, it's nah. You know what I mean? He fell short in the playoffs. He did. Uh, Dog, like he went from conversations of being the best third option in the league to disappearing against a good athletic team. And I like Austin Reeves. I'm a fan of Austin Reeves, but yo, Mr. 81, what's up, big dog? Appreciate you joining, man. I'm very disappointed in Austin Reeves. I love his game, and for the most part, I love his attitude because for the most part, he wants all the smoke. He's not ducking anybody, but this series, he just clammed up, bro. He was a shell of himself. Very disappointed. So I don't think the Lakers are going to trade him, but there are valid reasons to consider that. Love AR, but yeah, exactly. I know, Mr. 81, man. It's tough, bro. I didn't think we were gonna go out like this. We need a center badly. I knew we were cooked. Yeah, that's facts. I was spent like the last 15 minutes going off about how desperately we need a big. The inconsistencies killed me. Yeah, yep. Maybe swap him for a big. That's tough, man, because with his contract, that's what makes Austin Reeves so tricky as a trade piece because during the regular season he played above his contract. He's a great value. So he's making, I think, like 15 mil, if that, which was an upgrade from his rookie contract. But at the same time, it's not enough to be a significant contract piece where we can get a valuable big in return. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, let's say LeBron James, right? He's making 40 M's a year. We trade him. We can get, three good role players, maybe another potential all-star, and then we can just swap them out. But you can't do that with Austin Reeves. It's like a one for one. It'll be Austin Reeves for another decent role player, and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't really move the needle. You can pair him up though. You can take Austin Reeves' contract and probably Rui Hachimura's contract because Rui Hachimura, he's on an expiring contract, and you can work some things with that. I just don't see the Lakers doing it, man. If I'm being completely honest, uh, but it's possible. Definitely possible. We literally had Reeves guarding Gobert and yo, because JJ Redick he's so just dedicated to switching everything. You know what I'm saying? And when you have a lineup out there with Jared Vanderbilt, with DFS, with LeBron James, you don't. I get it. You want to switch everything, but that puts Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves in a very difficult situation because all the other team is going to do is keep running pick and roll until they get the mismatch. That's the trouble with the the switch everything scheme. Is that when you have a player like Anthony Edwards, all he's gonna do is pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, and then boom, he's got Austin Reeves. Eh, He's Anthony Edwards, man. We got to give him a ton of credit because he was, aside from this game, I would say he was just outstanding. And it wasn't even his scoring; it was his playmaking that was a difference maker. Because even in this game, you saw we did a good job of blitzing him, kind of around that half court line, so he had to give up the ball, but he made really good decisions. The games where he had higher assists and lower turnovers, they looked so much better, and we couldn't do anything with him. This game was just absolute trash. Like we didn't really show up for this game. And Rudy Gobert looked again. He looked like freaking Wilt Chamberlain out there, which is ridiculous. Yo, Big Drew, thanks again for the super chat, man. Thank you. Where you went to journalism school now? This is all point. Stupid. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Nah, man, it's just. I mean, we all watched the game, bro, and it was as clear as day. What even if we lost, I would like to have seen just better basketball. Period. Just better basketball. Because if you play better basketball and the other team outplays you, that's different. Fair. We can live with that. But we did nothing well this game. Nothing. We didn't shoot the ball well. We didn't defend well. We didn't shoot the three ball well. We didn't really take care of the basketball well. We had 15 turnovers. We only had 11 fast break points, 40 points in the paint, and we fouled 25 times. So we couldn't even defend without fouling. I don't know, man. That's tough. It's a tough one. I'm upset we went outside again. Same. Same. I didn't think it was going to end like this, to be honest. And I can sit here and clearly tell you that that was just me being a Lakers fan, which I'm usually pretty good about not being. I'm usually good about just kind of assessing these things, but I think my hopes were just that high that this team could pull off some sort of miracle. But the truth is, we weren't ready. This roster was not ready to make a championship run. It was decent for the regular season with the high level play of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and AR stepping up, but come playoff time, we just weren't ready. Does LeBron leave LA for a championship? It's possible, man. I don't think so. I think he's like, at this point of his career, I think he's just over it. I don't think he wants to move again. I don't think he wants to play for another coach. I don't think he wants to get used to another roster. I think for him, it's like if he decides to come back, he's gonna come back to the Lakers and just use this last season as his last season. You know, I, it's possible, but I don't think he's going to another team to try to win a championship. I think he's just kind of over it at this point. Not competing, but just like I said, he doesn't want to go through that hassle again. I didn't like this matchup against Minnesota. No, it was a horrible matchup for us. Horrible. We had to play damn near perfect basketball, and we needed our three stars. We needed our 2 stars and Austin Reeves to play exceptionally well. That was our biggest chance against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Otherwise, they're too deep. Pause. They're too athletic. They're too young. They're too feisty, and they have Ant-Man, and they have legitimate bigs. So I mean, yeah, the only reason it was as close as it was is that Minnesota wasn't shooting well. Agreed. Agreed. And they typically don't. Like, they're not a great shooting team. Anthony Edwards had a great shooting season. And the fact that we couldn't take advantage of that was just terrible. Foul trouble, too, I think. Yeah, we couldn't really defend without fouling. We don't have enough athleticism. Everybody's blowing by us. We couldn't keep up. Remember that night of the trade? Everyone was like, just hand him the chip. And you were the only one, like, I don't know about this. Yo, facts. Because I just knew what we were losing with Anthony Davis and Max Christie. To Rob Pelinka's credit, you don't say no, right? Because his job isn't just this season. His job as a general manager is for the future of the franchise. So you can't say no. He got Luka Doncic. He secured the Lakers franchise for the next 8 to 10 years. He did his job technically by just saying yes. But in terms of this year, it was absolute question marks for sure. It'll be great if he does a farewell tour. The fact that we're talking about a farewell tour with LeBron James just makes me a little bit sad, if I'm being completely honest. The game is not going to be the same without him. It's not, bro. It's not. Announced retirement going into the season. He wants to retire. Maybe. He did mention before that he was like not. He's not big on the idea of doing a a retirement season or whatever. He did say that publicly. He's like, I'm. That's not really my thing. I don't think that's what I'm gonna do. But you never know. LeBron be capping a lot, so Lakers need to trade Reeves. Um, what he does in the regular season didn't show up in the playoffs when it mattered most. Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Austin Reeves, he doesn't have a ton of experience in the playoffs. He doesn't. Um, but I agree. I mean, I'm not gonna say we trade him like immediately. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it. But I almost feel like Austin Reeves would be better as a six man. I think Austin Reeves will be better taking the pressure off of him being a starter and trying to produce at the same level of LeBron James or Austin Reeves and just let him spark the bench. If we can bring on somebody who's just more of an athletic wing to play alongside Luka, and then you have just a legitimate scoring option coming off the bench in Austin Reeves, I think that could work out really well. Not sure how we can make it happen, but Austin Reeves as a six man, I'm not mad at that whatsoever. He's not untouchable. He's not. Technically, he's not untouchable. The Lakers do a good job of making it seem like he's untouchable, but no, he's not. The cap. Yo, yeah, I ain't gonna front, man. LeBron, he be on some other stuff sometimes for sure, but I think he had a good series. Overall, I think LeBron had a good series, but I think the Lakers they if they didn't come out firing on all cylinders, it was just and then Luca got hurt his back like mid game, and he's all like moving like an old man. It's like, yo, one thing after another. The problem with this Lakers roster, we have a bunch of one-way players and not two-way players. We need athleticism and size and a center. I agree. I agree to an extent, actually, because I think DFS did a really good job. We didn't start turning this roster around in terms of performance until we got DFS. DFS is a dog, and but to your point, he's not super athletic. He's strong. He's more physical, kind of gritty. But like he don't fly. You can't throw him no lobs. He's not gonna run a fast break. You know what I'm saying? But I do like DFS as a dog. Vando, he's kind of the same. He's not super athletic either, and then he was kind of hurt longer than we anticipated. He didn't develop that corner three like we thought he would over the summer, so that was a little disappointing. I want Walker Kessler. Bro, you 81, bro. You see, like I know you watch a lot of my content, bro. You see me talk about Walker Kessler, but the time to get him was last summer when the Jazz genuinely did not want him, and they were begging for to get rid of him for a first round pick, and we had the first round pick. That's back when I was talking about Zach LaVine. Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's back when I was talking about Walker Kessler and Zach LaVine, bro. And you could argue that if we had made that trade in the summer, it would have worked out better because that would have gave us summer camp, preseason, and the whole regular season with a legitimate center, Walker Kessler, and we know what Zach LaVine can do. Uh, so you can make an argument that would have set us up better for success for this season. But at the same time, as a Lakers fan, I'm not mad that we got Luka Doncic, bro. He is going to be our superstar for however many years, but we have to build a roster around him. Maybe some youth. Yeah, exactly. We need some youth. We need younger players, athletic players, players that can fly, bro. When there's a defensive rebound or a turnover, and we need people that can just get up the court. LeBron James, put it this way: LeBron James at 40 years old should not be the fastest player up the court on a fast break. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And that's another reason why I wanted Zach LaVine, because granted he's not very young, but there is hardly anyone in the league more athletic than Zach LaVine, bro. I'm tired of getting my hopes up every season as a Lakers fan. Yeah, I know it's tough, man. It is. It's tough. And now we got to hear it from from everybody. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe we went out like this, man. This ain't it, bro. Celtics fan laughing too. Exactly, bro. This cat in the chat talking about some LOL. I don't want to hear none of that. Oh my goodness, Mark loved that comment. Now I gotta hear Lakers haters talking to us. Exactly, exactly. We're gonna get it. Yo, pause. We're gonna get it like until whoever wins the championship, because whoever beats the Lakers, that's their own mini championship. If you think about it, even last year when we got smoked by the Nuggets, that was their championship. This year, that was, I would say that was a Timberwolves championship. I don't know. They look really good. They could be very dangerous. Pause. 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 Now I got it. How about playing the same five all game last game? I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. I'm not. I'm not as critical of it as other people are because I it made sense. That was the only five. That was the only five that we had in the game that legitimately had it going offensively and defensively. They so to finish the game with that five, it kind of made sense. But you got to trust your bench. You got to be able to trust your bench. That wasn't even an elimination game, and he refused to play anyone else to give Luka Doncic a rest or a 40-year-old LeBron James at least a couple minutes of rest. I think that was obviously it was a gamble and it didn't pay off. It didn't pay off. So now we gotta sit at home and watch other teams compete for a championship and wait to see what Rob Pelinka is gonna do in the summer. The only thing I'll really give him credit for is DFS. He made a couple moves to get DFS, and that was a good move, particularly for this season. But I don't even know if DFS is going to make it back next year because he doesn't have to. He can sign somewhere else if he wants. But that Luka Doncic trade, he didn't do anything. The only thing he did was basically just not give up the house, and that's not even him. That's Nico Harrison just being I don't even know. But oh man, this is crazy, man. Let's look at the box score. Julius Randle, yo, oh my goodness. Can we talk about Julius Randle, bro? He was amazing this series. When has Julius Randle ever played that well in a playoff series? You see some of those shots he was making? What? Yeah. He never regressed. Never. Even this game, he shot 1 for 6 from three, which obviously is terrible, but he still shot 50% from the field, 8 of 16, and he had 23 points, and he made some crazy shots. Crazy shots. Jaden McDaniels didn't have a good game. Rudy Gobert, he was the entire game. 27 points, 24 rebounds. He had 9 offensive rebounds, man. Anthony Edwards only had 15 points. Dog, do you realize that Anthony Edwards only had 15 points and we lost? Anthony Edwards is by far the best player on their team, and he was nowhere near the best player tonight. The only reason why Randall played good against us because we have no size. Yeah, that's a good argument, but still, uh, I feel like him and LeBron matched up a lot, and I thought that was a very favorable matchup. But to Julius Randle's credit, he played some really strong defense this series, which I did not see that coming. I didn't. Julius Randle never plays defense, but he was actually very solid defensively this series against LeBron, against Luka, against AR, because we definitely put him in a lot of switches, but he came up big, man. He came up big. We should collaborate. Yo, definitely for sure, man. Yeah, definitely. We'll link up, man. Like I said, um, you be hitting me up on IG and whatnot, man. So yeah, for sure. But this is tough, man. I for sure thought we were gonna at least get this to a game 6, man. Ugh. Basketball just ain't the same when your team's not in it, man. We do have some pretty good series going on though. We do. I like the Knicks Pistons series. The Nuggets Clippers, that turned out to be a good series, better than I thought actually. Even though it looks like the Clippers, they might be regressing back to the old Clippers. The Cavs look dominant. I can't wait for the Cavs Celtics to meet up. That's gonna be a series. That's gonna be a series and a half. Oh man. But yeah, we're probably gonna wrap up the live here soon, man. This is crazy. Yeah, it's just gonna be wild. It is, man. I think that's gonna be a hell of a series, man. The Cavs, and I think the Cavs are waiting for the Celtics, bro. Waiting for the Celtics. That's gonna be a battle. What about all the contact that took place in the series? That's been the narrative for the most part throughout the entire playoffs. If I'm being completely honest, if you watch a lot of these games, man, the refs are letting them play, which I'm not particularly mad about. But what I don't like is sloppy basketball. When you let the physicality get a little out of hand to where it's really getting in the way of, you know, teams being able to effectively run their sets and people are getting like tripped up and potential injuries yeah, it kind of makes for sloppy basketball, but overall I would say that's kind of been the theme of the playoffs, so I can't really complain about that. But there were some missed calls, man. Missed calls on the Lakers side, but we're not going to get into that. We lost because we didn't play good basketball. That's the end of this. That's pretty much it. What about all the contact? Sloppy basketball, man. Yeah, it was. It was sloppy basketball. Like I said, this team we weren't playoff ready. We weren't. Even in game two, when we won game two, it was crazy because we started out really well, but then after the second half, the third quarter, heading to the fourth quarter, you could just see that if the game just lasted a little bit longer, the Timberwolves would have won that game too. They would have came back and won that game too. So we got a lot of moves to make this offseason, man. And I hope Rob Pelinka's ready to do his job because I don't know, he's gonna have to pull something out of his ass. Lakers better get a center in the offseason, 100%. That is number one priority over anything else. We got to find a center. We have a center this series. I think we advance. Easy. Yeah. I'm very confident that if we had a legitimate center on this team, we would probably be, at minimum, it would have been 2-2 instead of 3-1. I've been calling for Rob's job now. He got an extension. I know, man. When I saw the extent, I was like, everything just goes well for this dude. I don't get it. That Luka trade fell in his lap, and all of a sudden he's going to be the Lakers GM for who knows how long. And I'm not completely shitting on Rob Pelinka because he's made some moves here and there, but this is the Lakers, man. I don't know, bro. Whatever. But yeah, man, I'm probably gonna wrap up the live there. Unfortunately, the Lakers went out the way they did. We're gonna have to hear it for quite some time, but it is over. So we just got to move on at this point, and definitely gonna be making some more content about future moves, what direction the Lakers can go to kind of improve this roster, and then I'll be watching other playoff series too. So I'm gonna make a lot of content about that. You're gonna be seeing my face a lot more, which is really good, and yeah, man, that'll be pretty much it for me. I'm not giving Rob any credit. Let's be honest. The Luka trade fell. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It fell in his lap. I'm not giving him hardly any credit for that Luka trade. DFS, yeah, I'll toss him a few shillings, but yeah, C's live. My God, I guess, man. I guess. Yeah. Ugh. I can't believe I gotta make content on the Celtics, bro, and my Lakers don't even compete anymore. Great content. Appreciate that, Pops, man. Thank you so much, man. You feel me, man? Who else you gotta do? What else you gotta do? Yo, great to see your face reveal. Appreciate that, Mr. 81, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, enjoyed the reveal. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Just give them credit and throw shade easy. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, that Cavs series is going to be very interesting. I'll say that. And I think the Celtics, they're not playing their best basketball. I think Tatum is playing really well, but the Celtics aren't playing their best basketball. So against the Cavs, that's going to be very interesting. When are you posting the video? That's a good question. I'm definitely posting one tomorrow. I got to get up early for work tomorrow, so probably not posting one tonight. But I'll post one tomorrow for sure. Laker basketball sucks. Yeah, kind of does. Or at least it feels like it does anyway. But all right, man, that's gonna do it for me, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. So I thank you so much, man. I would have been on the computer, but again, had some technical difficulties, and it just drained me. And then it's been a long day, so. But I did go live, and I'm glad you enjoyed the content. The face reveal is here, so I mean, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of my face just posting everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It's gonna be everywhere. So those of you that joined, I appreciate it, man. Those of you that donated the super chats, thank you so much. That means a lot. But the channel is still here. AZ Sports isn't going anywhere, even though the Lakers are out. This is a sports channel, not a Lakers channel. So I'll be covering the playoffs. So definitely look forward to some really good content coming up. All right. Noti gang. Noti. Podcast collab. Yes, sir, Mark. We gonna make it happen, bro, for sure. All right, fellas. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Y'all take it easy.